Now let's shift to the tropics. Of course, we still got to track the tropics and see if there's anything crazy heading our way that could bring us more big impacts. Of course, we still have just had those 3 named storms or named systems so far for this season. Still waiting to see if we're going to get Debbie forming, but I think for now we are safe from getting Debbie forming or heading anywhere in our direction because of that Saharan dust out there. We've still got the super warm water temperatures still well into the 80s across the Atlantic basin, the Gulf of Mexico, the Caribbean, Atlantic Ocean. But as I've been mentioning the last several days, we do have one major thing hindering these tropical systems from developing, and that is that thick Saharan dust moving in off of Africa, traveling west over the Atlantic Ocean, Caribbean Sea, and now pushing into the Gulf. And as you can see, it's going to hang around at least through Monday afternoon and likely for much of next week. So that spells very limited tropical activity. In fact, the National Hurricane Center saying no tropical systems expected for the next 7 days. So that would basically take us through the end of July, and that is a good thing. Of course, many of you still likely have damage from Hurricane Beryl that hit us early in July. So we still need some time to clean up from that one, but still don't let your guard down. Be prepared because we're getting into the more active part of hurricane season as we get into August and September. So the Atlantic will show you that we have some interesting things out there. We got some clusters of showers and storms, a few little waves out there that we're monitoring, but nothing that's expected to blow up into a tropical storm or hurricane. We've got some action around Central America and parts of Mexico, and of course we got all of that moisture in the northwestern Gulf, but at this point nothing tropical expected to develop. However, let's switch over to the Eastern Pacific, and we do have some development here. We actually have a new tropical storm. This is Tropical Storm Bud, and you're wondering, is this thing heading towards Houston? The answer is no. Check out the track or the direction of movement. It has 40-mile-per-hour winds, and it's moving pretty quickly to the west-northwest at 16 miles per hour, and it is off to the south and west of Puerto Vallarta, Mexico. So that means it's moving away from Mexico. It's moving away from the U.S., and it's not going to be a problem for anyone for a while, but it's certainly moving farther away from the U.S. Still expect it to be a tropical storm through Thursday afternoon, and then weakening back to just a remnant low area of low pressure by Friday with 35-mile-per-hour winds. So we're monitoring Tropical Storm Bud. Doesn't appear to be a huge problem to anyone at this point. Also monitoring another system in the Eastern Pacific that's a little bit farther out, a little bit farther west of that one. Only a 10% shot for development with this one over the next week. So very quiet for the Atlantic Basin, tropical storm in the East Pacific. But what about next month? I do expect some of that Saharan dust across the Atlantic Basin to start to disperse and kind of clear out for August. So with that very warm water out there, I do expect more tropical development, and some of the areas where we will likely see that would be the Western Atlantic, the western portions of the central Atlantic, getting close to some of those Caribbean islands, and of course the Gulf of Mexico, especially western central portions of the Gulf of Mexico. We normally start to see those tropical systems developing there during August. So August and September, typically the busiest time of hurricane season. So that's why I keep saying it may be quiet now. Don't let your guard down. Just because we've been hit by one hurricane doesn't necessarily mean that will be it for the rest of the season. So make sure that you know what to do if a hurricane is heading our way. Make sure you have your insurance checked and ready to go. Make sure that you have your hurricane emergency gear kit ready to go, and make sure you know your evacuation routes. It's when things are quiet in the tropics, that's the best time to prepare, because August and September could once again get a little rowdy on us. Well, that will do it for your local and your tropical weather update. Stay safe out there. Watch out for that flooding if you are in and around the Houston area. That could develop, especially over the next 24 hours. I'm Fox 26 meteorologist Ramisha Shade. Enjoy the rest of your day.